Okay, my friends, I want to debate this guy, Michael Shermer, best-selling author of Giving the Devil His Due. He says none of us has the truth, and then he goes on to be talking about how there's fake dragons and the people that consider the source is basically what he's saying. Don't listen to people that are not of our caliber. And then he goes on to talk about a invisible dragon, and that's the kind of stuff that you want you people to believe in. Well, let me show you something, Michael. Let's debate this, my friend. Okay, we're going to go back and listen to Michael Shermer in a moment. However, we all know where Spain is, in the Straits of Gibraltar and the Mediterranean Sea. Well, guess what's running all the way across North Africa? A giant, not invisible dragon. That is a dragon. Right, there's his head, there's a bumpy nose they have, and it runs all the way down like this. There's that little flashy, fluty stuff they have on the side of them, dragons. His scales are here, and his neck runs all the way down. Now, this is bodily fluids. Get any autopsy or forensic person, they'll tell you that's what happens. Body fluids run off, and that's the color of them, red and black. That's the color of ferrous oxides in the blood. Now, let's see if we can see any details in this dragon's throat, or is it just invisible? Well, I don't know. I look for details, and then I say, is that visible? And I say, well, my contention is this is his throat. So let's see what happens inside of his throat. Well, it's a throat, and there's all these little bumpy looking things inside of his throat, run all the way down his whole throat. And then you say, is there any scales around that throat? And I say, well, yeah, there is. And they run all the way down here. And of course, this is the runoff. This is the bloody runoff. You see this? That's all blood. The scales only are right to here. You see, these are all where the scales run out to. And this is the real, you can see it. This whole area here is nothing but dragon scales. All right, now I don't think that's an invisible dragon. And guess how big it is, Michael? It runs all the way across North Africa. This is the body. These are the legs. I went through the whole thing, and there's a cloaca, so it's an avian creature. Now, I know anatomy, I know physics, I know all of those things that you know, and a lot more, I am absolutely certain. And this is a giant avian dragon creature. And you say, well, how can I prove it's a dragon? Well, I go by dragon scales a lot. I look at the dragon scales and I say, well, those are looking like dragon scales to me. And they run right down, all the way down his dragon scaled back, and all the way out to his fluty tail, which runs all the way over here, all the way over there. That whole thing is a dragon. Now, Michael, if you don't see that, I don't know what to say. If you can just deny that because of me being the source, then I have no respect for you whatsoever. Now, this is the neck. Guess what it says in the ancient text? Zeus cut Typhon's neck with his great and mighty sword, and there it is right there. And that is a gash across this great and mighty neck, and that's where it bled out in the desert. Now, let's discuss that. Is that just ridiculous? It's, I can't open my head up too big because my brain's going to fall out. That's what these guys are saying. It's really, the arrogance is, you could butter a piece of toast with it. It's absolutely amazing. Now, can I say this is a dragon? Well, I might be able to, because dragons spit out dragon stuff, which is this stuff right here, from his dragon mouth and dragon throat. All right, here's his dragon throat, and here's the injectors in his dragon throat. All right, and they make this dragon nasty stuff coming out of his dragon throat. And all of that nasty stuff comes down here all over that fish's back. He tried to kill a fish. No question he was attacking a fish. Now, and again, and if you say, oh, no, Roger, that's just some kind of dirt. Yeah, well, good. I don't see dirt like that laying around in my backyard. Do you? You see dirt like that in your backyard? Huh? No, you do not. Do you see dirt combusting when it hits something like this. I mean, that's literal combustion of, and then it showers down on that fish's back and hit his fin and ate right into his vital flesh. This is where the vital flesh stops. This is where it was invaded. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I don't think you have to be, you know, a brain surgeon to understand what happened here. And that's a fish. If you can't see it's a fish, what can I say? There's his tail. It runs all the way around here. There's his fin. These are scales. And this is nice pink flesh. I don't know what kind of fish it was. And this all happened, appears at the same time, when the ocean here drained out, Michael. And it drained across Atlantis, which is right here. And it drained across the straits of Atlantis, which they always said it was outside the straits, Plato said. And everybody said, oh, that must be the Straits of Gibraltar. No, it was the Straits of the Sahara. And it was the Sahara Ocean at one time here. And it collapsed. And everything ran out, just like Plato said, they will never speak of mud again. That all ran out and created the Cape Verde Islands. Now, these are my claims and my statements and my evidence to support what I'm saying. Now, right now, there's zero evidence to go against me. The ancient texts talk of this exact occurrence. Even there's coins that show a dragon attacking a fish in gold from, I don't know, BC era. These were all the tales told to Hesiod by the daughters of Zeus. Around 800 BC, he wrote the Theogony, how we were created. And the stuff that's on this earth is beyond anybody's wildest imagination. But if you can't deal with the reality that's presented in front of you, then you're not worthy of being a scientist in any manner whatsoever. None. Zero. So you have to debate me. You have to confront what I am presenting instead of making your silly little childish statements, as I will show you. Now listen very carefully to this guy. This is Bill Nye, Why Critical Thinking Makes You Smarter. Well, I'm going to do Bill next, but this guy I want to do first because this kind of bothered me. Michael Shermer. Now, he's starting out with nobody has the truth. So forget it. What you want to really think about is who's the guy that's saying it. Well, if it's Roger saying it, stay away from him. Listen to this.
The only way to find out that if you're deceiving yourself or not, if you've gone off the rails, if you're wrong in some way, is to listen to other people who disagree with you. I started encountering other people that disagreed with me. We never went to the moon people, conspiracy people, whatever. And I thought, okay, so how do we know, if I don't know what's coming down the pike, say in 10 years from now, if I was going to teach my students how to think critically, what are the key points? Like just basic questions they could ask. So it begins with one, how reliable is the source of the claim? Here's the claim, how reliable is it? What's the evidence for it? What's the quality of the evidence? All
right, right there is fine. Excellent, perfect. But now he's going to say, who's presenting the evidence? If that guy's presenting it, you might as well forget about it. Why bother spending your time looking at it?
Where does it come from? Who said that? Is this some, fake news alternative site thing, or is it, the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times? I mean, the source really matters. Has anyone tried to disprove the claim? This is super important. Because
no, they won't try to disprove it. They walk away and hide because there's no way to disprove it. I can show the evidence to support every word I've ever made, every claim I've ever made. I have material evidence. I don't have this kind of thinking, let's just forget about everybody unless they're saying the same thing I'm saying. And that's basically what I've heard through this video. And I'm going to debate Bill Nye and every one of each guy that's on here talking about his little reason for thinking that they're just forget about Roger.
Because everybody thinks they're right. And every website has testimonials about this product or that idea. The question is not what do your supporters think, but what do the people who don't agree with you think? Because that's what I want to know. Has anyone run an experiment to try to disprove your theory?
No, they haven't, sir.
And so in science, this is as basic as it gets.
Exactly.
Karl Popper called this the principle of falsification. That is, we can't ever prove a theory correct.
Whoa. Of course you can. If you have a theory is something different than physical evidence. I present a theory which is goes against your theory. My evidence goes against your theory. So my theory is proven correct. So I suppose you're right. It's not a theory. It's proven correct. So you're right.
But we can disprove it
No,
by
you can't
having an
disprove
experiment that shows it's wrong. Okay, so if you can't falsify it, what are you really doing? And my favorite story on this, by the way, let me just have a little sidetrack.
All right, here it goes. Talk to me about dragons there, Michael.
Right here from Carl. He's got this great little section in his book, Demon Haunted World. There's a dragon in my garage. Okay, I have a dragon in my garage. You want to see it? Come here, let me show you. So I pull up the garage door. I go, look, can you see the dragon? And you look in there and you go, well, no, I don't see anything.
Now, you know what? That's what geologists and so forth say about the dragon in Morocco. I'm not kidding you. And I almost can guarantee you he'll say the same thing. Oh, that could just be a landscape. It's hilarious. It absolutely 10 years. And the people at Yale, Harvard, all of them. Absolutely. I never saw so many incompetent people in my life. You know, they say, Roger, you're being rude. Well, I had to get rude because otherwise they sweep you to the side. We're the experts. We're the smart people. No, they're not. They're just drones. And just exactly what he's doing right now is trying to disgrace anyone that'll stand up. Well, the disgrace will not fall upon Roger.
Oh, sorry. This is an invisible dragon. An invisible dragon?
Invisible?
Yeah, he's invisible. Well, what if we put some flour on the ground, and then we'll get the footprints of the dragon?
Oh, you're a genius, Michael.
Well, no, see, this is a special dragon that hovers above the ground. It floats. It's an invisible floating dragon. Invisible floating dragon. Okay. Oh, wait, I have some infrared cameras here. We can detect the heat from the dragon. No, see, this is a cold-blooded dragon. It doesn't give off any heat. What about the fire? We can detect the fire that the dragon spits out. No, it spits out cold fire. Okay, you see the problem. If there's no way for me to falsify that there's a dragon there, what's the difference between
All right, here it comes. Here it comes. The same thing to all academics. They hate God.
invisible, floating, heatless dragon and no dragon at all? None. And of course, we can apply this to God or any other supernatural, paranormal type phenomenon. If I can't debunk it, if I can't falsify it, if there's no way to test it, then how will we ever know it's true? This is the core of the baloney detection kit. We have to be able to get to whether it's true or not in some way. So it's not just my opinion versus your opinion, and we shout at each other. Then we want to know is, does the claimant's personal belief somehow enter in? Because, of course, we all have personal opinions and beliefs about things. My politics, my religion, my ideology can influence me. It doesn't make it wrong, but it's good to know if somebody has an agenda.
Well, what is the agenda of academics? Is to stay in power and to literally intimidate the students into saying exactly what they tell them to say, or they will literally ruin their lives. And that's why I got away from that business, because, you know, like I say, 50 years ago I was doing all this. And right now I can prove everything I was saying 50 years ago. And these are the kind of guys that really destroy science. Michael, I'd love to talk to you, my friend. And I can be very rude and I can be very respectful. And it depends on how you respond, which I will imagine at this point, if you're like every one of your buddies, there will be no response at all. And you'll just hope that nobody will listen to me. But trust me, that's not going to happen. I will be heard.
You know, so when you watch Fox News, you know that they have an agenda, for sure. Or there's other sources on the left that have a liberal agenda, maybe NPR, who knows. But you see, it's good to know that, just in case. So when you hear the fact, you go, well, maybe, but I know this guy has an agenda. So, you know, that's the kind of thing. Does the new idea being proposed account for the same amount of information that the old idea does, and some of the new anomalies that the old idea can't explain? So people offer theories, so-called alternative theories of physics, for example. And they always send them to me going, hey, listen, you know, I'm not good at math, but if you help me with the math, I'll share the Nobel Prize with you. Right. I don't do math and physics, so you know you might take it to the local high school physics teacher before you announce that you've made the greatest discovery since Newton and Einstein.
Well, let me just tell you something. Again, the arrogance. Let me show you something since Newton and Einstein. Okay, consider the source. I can almost guarantee you that that guy does not know that you can see extremely high energy particles, which these are, with cell phones, smartphones. In 2014 they did it. I'll show you the article in a second. This is red pulsed laser light. Laser light is light. There is light accelerated. Therefore, the greatest mind since Einstein, because Einstein was wrong. That's accelerating light, no question about it. And light itself is a particle. Can I show you the particle? Absolutely I can. And Bill Nye went to Cornell. He should know that's a 2p2h particle. I will show you their articles on it. And this, if you can break away the black ball, which is the black neutrino, you could create a sterile neutrino. We did it. And you know what else we created? Dark energy, which is right there, and this is the actual electron energy, which is the concussive explosive energy. At this point here, the black and the white balls separate. Can I show that? I absolutely can, and here I will. And this is exactly what CERN and all of the top shots want to see. The muon neutrino, electron neutrino. That's the black ball. It's attached to the white ball. The black ball goes on its way. The white turns into showers. That's exactly it. And the reason we got this, and CERN and Fermilab can't do this, is because we just got lucky and created a venturi and a slit that compressed the magnetic fields. And the black balls cannot concuss. This is a new law in physics, is dark matter is obviously dark matter, and it is not concussive. And I can show that as well, my good friend, whoever your name was, I can't remember now. But here's the particles concussing. You see this right here? The white ones can squeeze and get through that venturi. The black ones do nothing. There's the black ones. Absolutely no change whatsoever. All right, the white ones are charging up. You see this white one's charging up because it's in the front going this way. It's bumping against all the other particles. They're fields. It has a field around it. That's the deal. These have a field, and it snaps to the black ones like unbelievable. I mean, that is like solid attachment. And the only way we could break them is to force them to go through that venturi. And when we did, it forced these white ones to just break away from everything. And the black ones can't get through. The white ones were forced through because there's a pulse. Bam, 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 bam. It's like slapping them through there. And the white ones went through, but when they're normally going through the air, this is just a photon coming through the air. However, it's stacking up. You never see it in this configuration except for the fact that it's about to explode. Normally you see them like little whites and blacky looking lines. They don't look anything like this absolute perfect configuration. And the green and the blue, the blue, yeah, a little hard to see. It's a little too energetic. The green is identical. Now, as it goes through the air, that will charge up because it's hitting all the gas particles in the air, which are electrons, and it will charge up as push to shove, and then it'll flip. And then this one will be out in front, and that one will be in the back discharging, and that one will become charging. The point is that the white ones can separate from the black ones. I showed that quite clearly. And again, just to be sure you didn't miss it, here they are at the venturi. Fission, breaking apart. The black ones removing themselves from the white ones. You just saw them all attached together. Coming back together instantaneously. Same ball, same black balls. See? Same. Same all over the place. They say, get out of here, where are the white ones coming through? And that's the showers. Electron showers, muons. Now, this is also dark matter, and it is gravity, and it is heavy compared to the white ones, it appears to me. And they say 85% of the universe is made as dark matter. I could go along with that, possibly. I don't have any idea for sure, but I can tell you one thing for absolutely certain. The white absolutely does not want to be next to each other. That's why it creates these showers. The black ones, they just go. They say, if you're in front of me, I don't care. I'll bang right into you. We won't hurt each other. We can sort of collect around each other and glob together. No big deal. I don't mind being around you. The white ones say, get away from me. You just get away from me. And as they come through, boom, boom. And that's what creates the interference patterns. This is a single slit. This is not a double slit. All right? You see the interference patterns? Those aren't interference patterns. those are repulsion patterns. This line says, you all guys stay over that, and say, okay, I'll come down this way, you come down that way, and they do that. And here they sort of get blurred because there's so many of them coming at the same time. But as they spread out, they can take up occupied spaces and have regions in between them where they're not pushing and shoving. This is so much energy that we should be able to get free energy. And I have a device that I have figured out, even though I am not an accredited, peer-reviewed source. That was a laser that created these pulses. No question whatsoever, zero question. That is a Venturi that created the separation of the particles. Absolutely no question whatsoever about that. Zero. This is fission. No question whatsoever about that. Zero. This is fusion coming back together. No question about that. Absolutely zero question. This in between, I would say, is the, well, it's nuclear energy. And you can see the blistering, extreme increase in potential violence, which is energy. Is nothing more than impact, explosive violence. Back here, you couldn't even see it in this cell phone. And the only reason we can see it in the cell phones is because the cell phones have the CMOS, the same thing they use at CERN to see their particles. And we're seeing them. You put a little app in your phone, you can see this. Now we have them where we can see fields. And like I said, everything is a dipole. Where do you see this? My good friend that denies my science. All right, this is from 2014. You put an app in the phone, basically transforms the phone into a high energy. That's the key, high energy. If it's not high energy, you're not going to see it. High energy particle detector. Anyway, it uses the same principles as these very large experiments. And they're looking for muons. They're looking for these secondary particles called muons. The muons are these extremely high energy particles, which I just showed you. Extremely high energy. If you're not seeing the high energy particles, you don't see anything. It won't pick it up. But we can see the tiniest of tiny particles because they're so energetic. The radiance from them is just phenomenal, as you saw. So this shows that we can use these. Physicists turn smartphones into pocket cosmic ray detectors, which is nothing more than a high energy particle detector, muons. October 2014, same time Rod and I were doing this. And also, my friends, Bill Nye went to Cornell. Here's a new nuclear radioactivity. We did this around this time. Well, this was 2011. This was before us. That was at Cornell. And then they went into neutrino interaction generators. Listen to this. I showed you the two particle, two holes, the black and whites, 2 at 2. 2p2h effect, urgent program neutrino interaction physics. Such processes are believed to be responsible for the event excess observed in recent neutrino experiments. Exactly what I showed you, huge excesses. It says, current and future high-resolution experiments can potentially nail down the effect. We did that, high resolution. That's exactly what we used. And all we used was a cell phone and a pulsed red laser. I know it's got to be embarrassing. And we found the sterile neutrinos, Bill, and whoever the other guy is, Michael, I think it is. And this is dark matter. They're right. I go along with that. Sterile neutrinos are dark matter. The black ball is the dark matter. It doesn't have to be sterile neutrino to be dark matter. It just has to be the dark ball that I showed you. Okay, remember I told you there's field effect things we're seeing now. This is Rod's nephew, Dylan Carpenter. Rod Warren did all the other light shots that I showed you. He's in Australia. Dylan, I believe, is in New Zealand. And I haven't really had any contact with Dylan other than just he sent me these shots. And he was, oh. And all he's doing is taking pictures of the night sky, I believe. And I'm not even certain of when this was, what time of night or day or where he was pointing it. I have no idea. But I'm pretty sure this is the moon. And everything is a dipole. Look, everything is a dipole. And in space, everything will be a dipole because everything is being charged up as it's moving through space. Because in the space, everything has electrons, and we're scrubbing through them. Because light, as I showed you, is a photon, which is nothing more than 2 electrons. So it has a huge magnetic field. And they are everywhere because the sun emits them. Every luminous body does. So we are plowing through them same as a motor generates electricity, polar effect, going through, spinning through a magnetic field. And there's nothing more than a magnetic field out there, and we're spinning. That's what creates it. Now, I think this is Venus. I'm almost sure. I would be. Look at the magnetic field. I mean, it's just phenomenal. Now, what this is, I have no idea. Why would it be in front of the moon like that? No idea. I could see something, you know, out there that's giving off magnetic fields. Again, no idea. I do see the black seeming to be a little bigger than the white. You see the black ones being a little bit bigger than the white ones, and sometimes the white ones are a little bigger than the black ones. I don't know. And here's this moon has a bluish tint here and a yellowish tint here, which the blue is more shifted towards the energetic region, and this is the less energetic. Now, you will always have a dark facing a white and a white facing a dark. That's just the nature of the particles. They want to pull into each other. And the dark will always attract the white. They will always suck the white in. Now, I don't know if they're bigger or they're just heavier or why it does that. But it's a complete opposite. And the white, as you can see, look at that sucker. That's glowing like crazy. And look at the fields. And he sent me a batch of these shots. I don't know what to make of them. I just don't know what to make of them. I really don't I have no idea at this point. I just got them, so again, these are kind of things that if you don't pay attention to them, and you say, well, consider the source. Oh, you guys just shooting up the stuff in the sky and looking at it. Yeah, well, that's right. But what does it mean? I showed you that everything is a dipole in my world. All right, dipole electron flood theory. It's a model. It's not a theory, it's a model because I can show it. And it solves 100% of everything. The Bohr model is completely wrong. Bohr is no more. All right, and that's all that exists is electrons. That's why they can see these tiny little particles, but they don't know where they come from because they got 10,000 billion particles smashing together with each other, and then they dig through the debris and they say, yeah, we can find these are the tiniest ones we can find, but we have no idea where they came from. Well, talk to Roger, talk to Rodney. They came from photons. That's all. And we can get free energy, I am almost certain, if some of these stuffed shirts would get out of the way and pay attention to the reality instead of who presented this. Why should we listen to this guy? And that's exactly what I heard from Fermilab. Don Lincoln, we're not going to listen to a word you have to say because you're not peer-reviewed. I said, well, what's the difference with that? I'm showing you the stuff. Can't you guys look at this? You spend billions of dollars a day, and you can't spend 1 minute? Not 1 minute. Nope, we're not going to spend 1 minute. That was the response. And then I was blocked. So, if you think they're out for our best interest, no. They are out for status, awards, prestige, writing books, and preying on the vulnerability of your children. Because if you don't get a piece of paper from them that says they're smart, you're doomed to the fields. So, I'd like to have some debates with these people and see what they have to say about my evidence. This is not theory stuff. I have evidence. So if they want to debate theory, then they just have to talk among themselves. That's what you call your circle jerk.